Well, Christian, let's start. Thank you for joining us, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's start by talking about Checo's race. A better day than yesterday, but the smile's not quite back on his face yet. He needs to really be up there on the podium again, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was hunting that podium down at the end of the race there, and I think that he lost out a little bit of ground on the first lap, but then his recovery through the race was very, very strong, and he just qualified out of position. And I think had he qualified in position, he would have been there today. So I think he can take positives out of his recovery today.
By the way, did you just notice when those soft tyres went past, the warmth emanating from them? It's like a sauna going past. That's crazy.
Christian, you were just saying he did a good race, but I thought he had quite a lack of performance, especially in the early part of the race. Isn't that true? I mean, really comparing to Max, there was some laps where it was quite a gap.
Yeah, but you're quite a critical kind of guy,
He's
though,
tough.
aren't you? I mean, you're tough on these
Tough
guys.
judge.
I mean,
Just
now
a
you're not
question.
in the car. You're happy to criticize all the guys, but I think that he lost out in the early laps, and he didn't have a great start. George, managed to get away, running off track, getting on track, not getting any penalty from that, and I think that was the difference at the end of the day. Checo, his race was getting stronger and stronger, and that last stint in particular, he was really coming back very strong, but just not enough laps to fight for the podium.
Well, we've just been talking about how monumental that performance was from Max. Checo obviously not having quite as much of a good day. Do you think Checo is going to have what it takes to, bring this title battle to Max this season? Because he looks really unstoppable at the moment in that Red Bull.
I think if you look at the points now, and there's a big split between the two of them, I think if anything that should take pressure off him. He has nothing to lose now, and I think he just needs to relax. He can breathe out and just drive like we know he's capable of, like he did in Azerbaijan and some of the early races this year. And I think today, was a good recovery from him, and I think that'll give him confidence as we head to Montreal.
He was saying there that he's feeling confident, but he doesn't seem so upbeat. Do you think he's got it? Has he got it, though? Has he got it?
Yeah, I mean, being Max Verstappen's teammate, take nothing away. There is not a driver out there today, I believe, that would have beaten Max in that car today. So, he's up against a driver that is at the top of his form. And, that's very tough. I mean, as you experience that as well at certain times. And I think that Checo, mentally, it's a really tough thing to deal with. But as I say, I think now there is that separation in the points that may actually take the pressure off him a little, and the expectation he's putting on himself. He needs to let go of that now and just, be free to drive.
And aside from the intra-team battle, the competition from elsewhere, were you surprised that the performance levels weren't higher from Aston Martin, Ferrari?
Well, the form's moving around. I mean, you look at Lando's lap yesterday, the Mercedes looked strong in the race today. The Ferraris, didn't have the pace that we thought that they might. So the form behind us does seem to be, moving around quite a lot at the moment. So yeah, it's difficult to predict who's going to be where at which event.
Did the Mercedes form even maybe worry you a little bit? I mean, they made such a giant leap, and they're opening this new concept path. What were your thoughts there?
Well, it was still 23 seconds behind at the end of the race, so fair play. They made a good step, and but I think that we've got some stuff in the pipeline. They've had a big upgrade. We got some bits, coming later into the season. So, but look, for sure, a big step. They're a quality team. And for sure, they're going to be putting us under pressure in the second half of the year.
What about Max there? Yeah, your team tells him, Max, we've got everything under control, let's take it easy. And he does the 100% opposite. He goes maximum attack, qualifying lap, and let's burn the time down. Like, what was going on there?
He and his engineer, they've got a relationship like an old married couple, and you can hear them talking over the radio. It's almost like arguing, which channel should we watch, And having had 3 strikes, the next one is a time penalty, and if there was a safety car, something like that, that could have been extremely painful. So the engineer is trying to manage Max to say, look, don't take any risk, just bring it home, keep it in the lines. And Max, I think he wasn't aware he was exceeding the limits, and so he just wanted that extra point for the fastest lap.
As a boss, are you going to still sit down with him and have a word about that, or are you just going to let it be?
Well, look, I think, he's in the car, he knows. Of course, we'll talk about it, and I think in a situation where there was more to lose than that, of course, we talk about it very firmly. But, all we can do is pass him on the information. What he chooses to do with that information, he's in control of.
So when you go away from a couple of events like this where you guys are clearly dominating, the car is clearly the quickest. What are your concerns going forward? What is it that you look at? What is it that you want to repair or make better?
Well, you're always learning. I mean, we've learned from that race. You know, did we start the race on the right tyres? Was a soft tyre a better tyre for the first stint? So that's one of the lessons to take away and for us to analyse. And, you know, where can we be better with the car? And I think we just taking things one weekend at a time, one session at a time, and not projecting too far ahead. So, yeah, still a lot of lessons to take out of this weekend.
But just for a moment, do look forward to Canada for us. Is this a sort of circuit, because we're always hearing that he's the king of the streets, is this a sort of place, Montreal, where Checo can come back into play?
Well, Canada's a unique circuit. It's always great racing there, and I think that it's a different challenge. It's, you know, a lot of low-speed stuff, a couple of high-speed chicanes, but you know, Checo's run well there before, you know, as has Max, and I think that, you know, the weather can always be a factor there as well. But, you know, we're heading there on 99 victories now, so you know, there's a determination to try and get the century, you know, at the next one.
Will you give yourself the night off? Put your feet up?
What, tonight?
Yeah.
No, it's straight home, school run in the morning, and then straight into work.
Exactly what I want to hear. Thank you very much, and well done today.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Okay, let's